Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Today is Thursday, so we're just a day away from the end of the week. It's been fun, exciting. It's the summer, and it's been slow, and it's been excitingly slow, and so forth and so on. Anyway, that's what it comes down to in the Northern Hemisphere. It gets kind of sloppy and slow right now. Let's go check out the chat line to see if anybody is visiting to say hi. Let's see. Welcome to my neighborhood webinar. Let's see. Let me click on that button. And we'll get a little commercial for a few seconds. Nope, nobody's there. They're hiding. So anyway, let's see what we got going on. That is the dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss has basically been going just following its natural tendency of whatever the central bank says it should do. And you can see we've set up red lines. You can see the green lines just looking at a downwardly channel, but we're looking at the red lines is where it seems to stay inside that zone. And we've seen the same zone over in other pairs where they have them locked into zones. This way they do not get blamed for manipulation. I'm here, Doc. Yay, middle age. How you doing? We're just kind of slowly rolling with the homies here, and we'll see what's going on. I was really impressed to see the dollar index climb into a buy yesterday. Remember when you asked about the dollar index? Let me just show you what it did. I was like, when I got back to the house last evening, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Remember that yesterday? It was a minus. It was in a daily sell, and then all of a sudden, zoom, right back up again. And I, like I said, I don't really pay attention to this thing compared to watching pairs trades. Pairs trades are so much more fun, and so it was like, wow, the dollar index found a way to get back into the buy, and then I saw where the Swiss found a way to. Remember, it was, I think that was flirting. The only one that caught my eye out of it all is this one, the Canadian. It actually went into a daily sell. It actually shifted gears. We do see this morning Euro trying to get into the buy. At one point it was plus. Now we've got a red-green going on. When we sent out the charts this morning, it was that. You can see that the cable is trying to. But overall, yeah, we're in a lackadaisical. It's kind of like that sideways, do nothing. Be happy, man. Do nothing, be happy. Listening to that reggae music. Lion Man music. So, I'm glad you're here. You watch it every day. Yeah, I tell you, I was cracking up. I couldn't believe it. It's like, what? Middle Age just asked for that thing, and it was screaming, just screaming that it looked like it was going to go into a sell. And then sure enough, it did not. And it's so funny that it does that. So, yeah, you can see the Swiss there. It's not, it's kind of banging along. It's trying to get up to those red dashed lines. Kind of funny that the bottom end of this did not get to the red dashed line, so maybe it stalls out even more in the middle here. I mean, it could be literally the currency, just literally stalling out. And not only that, it's trying to go into a weekly buy. So, I mean, not only do we have, I'm going to sound like James T. Kirk from that Starship Enterprise. Not only do we have the weekly trying to climb into a buy, but we have the daily trying to not go into a sell. And that seems to be phasers on. All right, let's jump over to that Euro again. And there is the Euro. And this morning, the chart I sent out, let me show you the chart I sent out to the clientele. Let's see if I go like that, and then I go like that, and then I go like that. No, that's not the one, right there. See, it had a little green line. There was no green dot. I mean, no red dot. It was trying to push up this morning. The plot 4 was, I think, plot 4 was like +3, and plot 1 was like 0.000000. There was a bunch of zeros, but no numbers, so it wasn't a minus. But then when you see the weekly here, you can see that pressure right there. You know, so, and then you can see, like I said, there's the weekly going, you know, that way in the gray chart versus the black chart. We have clients that like gray charts. We have clients that like black charts. So most of the time, I like the gray charts, but the clients like the black charts. So I kind of drift towards that. Not happy about it, but I do. And so you can see here that the euro's not getting any real action either. And I guess it's the Jackson Hole finally coming up to fruition. I don't know. We'll see. You know, the whole story is going to keep on playing out. And so the Federal Reserve is going to keep on making money easy, lending money overnight for free to the institutions. You know, that game is going to go on until it doesn't. That's pretty much what it is. And believe me, we'll know when it's not, because it'll be pretty obvious. They'll be smacking the market around like a puppy that just peed on the floor. As we take a sip of water. I like that expression. That's pretty good. Smack it around. Right now the market is being carried around on a velvet pillow, treated like an angel and like just the most loving thing. And then one day they're going to treat it like a puppy who peed on the floor. They're going to be smacking it with the newspaper every chance they get. So we'll know the difference. You will know the difference. That the thing is that, matter of fact, they say stuff like on Wall Street, there's like something like 33%, if not more now, who've never seen a real bear market. And if it wasn't for the COVID back in February and March of 2020, they'd have no idea. I mean, the stock market did drop 33%. You know, they would have no idea that what could happen. That must have terrified them. And you know, it probably shook them up. And at the same time, they probably just don't know what to do but to follow their boss's lead, and that is buy, and then buy again until you can't make money doing it, and then you sell. That is that. All right, now we'll look at cable. Cable, same thing, trying to get into the buy and is failing. It was there this morning. Robin R. Let's see what the Robin has to say. Hey, Robin, what's shaking, bacon? New business, like old business and some business. Oh, that's nice. Oh, good. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Alrighty. All right, well, I'm going to finish up. I'm just doing the webinar now as we speak, but that's quite all right. Good news is good news. No, don't be sorry. Yes, well, that's why I say that you can't be hit like a puppy who just peed on the floor just because you forgot if it's Saturday or Sunday. Honest to God. And if you can't remember between 8:20 and 7:20 Eastern Standard, 7:20 Chicago time versus 7:40 Chicago time, again, you can't be beaten like a puppy who peed on the floor. It's not logical. Right, exactly. I said that this morning in the webinar 2 times now. Exactly. No, I'm saying it shouldn't happen to you. No, I wasn't saying. I was talking about the market. About we'll know. I said we'll basically know. Middle age is in the market, and after that, nobody else is in there right now. But I was saying that the only way we'll know easily when the Federal Reserve is not participating anymore in the currency pairs and so forth, because right now it's being carried around like a cherished thing on a velvet pillow, and it's being loved and treated nice. And I said, and what will happen is when the Federal Reserve finally backs away from all this, they will hit it with a newspaper like as if it was a puppy who had peed on the floor. It won't be hard to figure out the difference between a velvet pillow and being clobbered with a newspaper. It won't take much. Definitely not. Excellent day. Catch you later. Good news. Thank you. So, yep. Robin was just saying the same thing. So middle age. It's right now we're looking at this, and it's just it's just kind of drifting along, moseying along. It's like one of those old cowboy songs. It's like the do 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 do. It should be a soft background sound right now in the month of late July and most of August. We should have that slow moseying along sound because the markets are just kind of hanging around. All right, so there's the cable. Let's see what it's doing on J4X too. Right there. And we'll take a look at look at that right there. Look how close that is. Just like our work right there. You can see the two are matching up. The daily here, this is the daily right there, and here's the daily right there. You see it, they're just trying to match up. They're just soft and slowly trying to do something. You can see here, one interesting thing when you do look at the J4X that is always well worth thinking about is that the two of these things are battling, right? And when it starts to do a bottoming thing like this, it really does emphasize that it's kind of done. It's done sliding and it's trying to lift. Now, obviously, we've seen products keep on driving down, but when that white line turns up, you know it. Especially when it pierces the dashed line, then you really know that it's trying to change its direction. And that's a really good tool. I mean, you can't discount that tool. That's a really good tool. You don't want to discount that tool. It's always well worth knowing. It is. It's a really clean. It's a clean tool to keep an eye on for a day-to-day basis. All right. And then, let me see. And then, what else could we say? I'm trying to think what else we can say about that whole thing. I don't really see much more to be said but that. But I can say one thing is for sure is that markets, when they have no conviction and they're going sideways like this, you just have to be much more in control of not making the wrong trade or a trade. Just sit back and let it play itself out. Remember, we're here to trade to make money, not just to trade. And that's why you've got to be patient in these slow, dead times. Do 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 do. See, there should be that slow, steady music in the background. All right, now we'll jump over to the Turkish Lira and see what that's up to. Dollar Turkish Lira to start with, then we'll look at Euro Turkish Lira. Right there. Now it did close in a daily buy last night. You can see that on the fact check spreadsheet. That's what, 17, I think it is. Yeah, 17. But I knew that it would. Chances are we were going to be piercing that sell into last night here in the States. Let's see. And you can see you got the red hinky ashy, you got the white line rolling over. The stochastic was way up high, and now it's piercing the slow moving stochastic. And as you can see right here, same situation. We got a red dot. We got the line through. I mean, it was so close last night. Look at the numbers there. The numbers were, let me do that again. The numbers were 0.0017. Couldn't get into that minus. And then obviously plot 4 was 0.0033. So it was really trying to, get into the sell, but it couldn't get into the sell. And we just knew that, today would be like smackadoodle, and sure enough, it's smackadoodle. Especially being in a weekly sell like that, that they're not going to really get much legs to it. There's not going to be a lot of conviction to it. And so now we'll take a look at it. And I think also at the same time, the Euro Turkish Lira was screaming that, I believe, even more. Yes, see, it closed in a daily sell yesterday. When I saw that at the same time, I thought, oh man, this is going to be a great short. Boy, was that a good short. And you can see it right here on Chicago J4X of Dukascopy. Right there. And you see breaking down here. And you see the same thing going on here. And yesterday it broke down even earlier. So, that euro. Oh, we got another person in the house. Welcome to my neighborhood. Will you be my trading friend? And so you can see there the Turkish Lira, again as usual, a very good indicator ahead of the dollar pairs trade of the Turkish Lira. Gives it much more insight, just a little bit more. And you can see how bad they've been beating it like a rented mule in Death Valley. You can see here on the weekly. Oh no, let's see. Let's go to that again. Yeah, that's it. Just go like that. There we are. You can see the weekly is not even remotely acting like it has any interest whatsoever to go into a buy. It was impressive that the white line even got up near the negative time manifold. It was, look at this. I mean, we go into the buy here, and this thing won't even take out this high, whereas on the dollar against the Turkish Lira, it took out that high. So I mean, the action in the Turkish Lira and the Euro is very clean. I have to say it is very clean. And in scientific terms, we refer to it as very robust. It is. It's very robust. Alrighty. Now we will drift over to Mr. and Mrs. Canada. I was, like I said at the beginning of this webinar, I was really surprised to see that strength in the Canadian against the dollar. Let's throw that up there. Right there. Canadian has made a pretty aggressive move. So, I mean, overall, that run up to there, that was pretty high up. I mean, when it came off the lows, wow. I mean, you're talking June to July. It was a demonstrative move up into the 128s from the 121s. That was like, wow, that was a really push hard. And then, they sold it down and bounced. And then when you go over to Chicago Quant, you see we've been in a weekly buy for weeks upon weeks, and we are now underneath the positive time manifold right there. And that was, the same time as this with the Dukascopy, joining in, and it just took off. Matter of fact, we thought this might be an A, B, C, the green lines there on the bar chart itself. And that's the A, and this would be the B. And then they might generate a nice C. And you can see here's a second day now in the sell. And that is line 20. You can see that. There's 1 and 9. And this is showing definite weakness right here. Lots of weakness. We'll see. I would think just because it's Thursday, it's in the middle of the summer, I would think there's a good chance that it does not make it into the weekly sell this week. But next week, it probably has a very clean shot at that. And this thing likes to swing. I mean, it does. It makes some interesting moves. And this could be the big A. This could be the B. And then we could be looking at a C that drives it down to at least down to this area here, or even into the high 22s, something like that. It could be a very interesting chart. Oh no, another person. There's a fourth now. Will you be my trading friend? Welcome to the webinar. Yes, indeed. So yeah, that is interesting to see how the Canadian is showing that weakness at the same time. And again, looking at the weekly, went into that weekly buy-in here in the 120s, and it climbed to almost 129. That's one heck of a move in just less than 6-7 weeks. What is that? So it went from 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6 week, 6 weeks. That was a heck of a move. And it's been that weekly buy for 9 weeks. Now we're finally, it's finally doing that, ABC stuff, and then it'll probably roll over and head south. It's already heading south. It's going into that sell was a nice sell. Unfortunately, we're in a weekly buy. Unless you're doing it through binaries or options, you can't get involved. Now this one was kind of morose. It was kind of sideways. Nothing. Ugh. Tasted ugly. Can ugly taste ugly? Maybe. And then you can see we went into the buy again, and it was okay. It was winner, chicken dinner, but no real excitement there. You're not exactly going to pay for the new windshield wipers on the Maserati, I can tell you that. And so then at that point, you get the weakness now, and we're seeing the weekly join in with that. Boom, 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 boom. All right, from the Canadian, what we do is we slide over to the oil market. Uh-oh, number 5 is in the house. Number 5 is alive. Welcome to our neighborhood. And so we slide over to the crude oil. Now remember, number 3, number 4, and number 5 who've just come in, you can ask to see anything you like. So don't worry, if we've seen it, we'd like to look. We have no problem looking at these things a second or even a third time. You never know what else we can garner or what you might ask that may instigate a whole different thought about something. Remember, there are no stupid questions when it comes to trading and money. There are only long answers or short answers. 6 is in the house. What is going on there? Someone forget to tell everybody it's the summer? All right. Hello, 6. Will you be our trading friend? All right, so we'll jump over now to crude oil, and we'll take a look at and see that, and we'll take a peek at the golds too at the same time. Let's see. First of all, we will go to light sweet Texas tea. Right there, trading at 68.90, showing some firmness there. You can see the green what do you call those? The Hinky-Hashi bars there. And now there it is. And you can see here in our stochastic, the fast moving against the slow. What I like to call the super leading indicator. That is doing fine also. And as you can see, this time compared to yesterday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can see we are in a weekly sell and a daily buy. That's right. This thing got pushed into a weekly sell last week. So let's take a look at it. Let's check it out, and let's bring it up onto the trading board. Let's see. Right there, and there. There we go. We're all set. Here she blows, the great white whale. And there it is. Now, we went into the buy there yesterday. It's not exactly doing anything too exciting. It went up a little bit, and now it's backed off. It showed us the volatility signal, and at one point even it was reflecting a daily buy on Tuesday. So the strength has been there. It's trying. At the same time, the weekly it's been through the weekly buy number all week long. It's been showing definite buying pressure on a longer term basis. Just change that color to green. Right there. So it's trying to get into the weekly buy. It's acting firm after, watching it go into the sell and, having this big win out of it. And now you can see it's trying to lift itself back up again. It's definitely, we lost 6. We scared 6 away. Sorry, 6. Didn't mean to scare you. Okay. So That is what it is right there. That's that oil contract, which we're going to probably switch the oil contract. Let's see, Saturday is the 14th, is it? And then the 15th is right around the corner from that. So we'll probably switch something like that over. And we'll do that. Doom doo 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 doo. Alrighty. And so that is the crude oil. You can see it's trying to do its thing. It's trying to get going again. Actually, when you think about it, looking at this particular chart, let's get rid of that. When we think about it, like right there, it's made a higher low here. So it is trying to dig its heels in, get some conviction on the upside. And so Canadian is going down and oil is moving up. It has to be a really clear signal that maybe there's some more buyers out there in the oil market there. And you can see it right there. Oh, how did that do that? Don't do that. And then you can see right there on J4X, we got the super stochastic indicator lifting very well, or leading, not super, but it's the leading super indicator. And it's doing a fine job, and we got two hinky ashies trying to tell us the same story. Now what we'll do is we'll take a peek at gold. We would assume gold would have some strength also if Canadian is showing some strength against the dollar. And so let's see. Oh, at least we got a green. We've got the Stoke looking strong. Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. And then that is my September 11th movie that I watch every year. Trading Places. Because it has the old trading floor on it, the CEC. And that's where they do those scenes with the orange juice trading and all that excitement, with Duke and Duke. And so it's always fun. I traded in that pit. It's kind of fun to see the old pit when I know it's just a bunch of rubble at this point. All right, let's put it up on, let's see, that's gold, right? So let's put the gold up on the screen and see what that looks like. You can see how J4X is showing it it's trying to lift. Unfortunately, not as well. Let's give it a Control R just to wake it up. But unfortunately, gold is down compared to yesterday's settlement. Settled at 1753.3. And right now, trading live, we're seeing a trade at 1753. So $3 American down. We're in a daily sell since up in here in the 18s. We're in a weekly sell since the 18s. It's like 1778 or something of that nature. Or I guess it was 18. It was 18 and change because it was up in here. It went into the, see, it went like, when we moved this over, where it really went into the sell was like right there on the June contract at the time. And so it's been in an ugly push since the low 18s. And it's going to the low 17s. Really makes you ask a lot of questions in your head about the value of what is the last thing you can buy of resort against the central bank's craziness. One day, one of my favorite movies, and it explains commodities. Oh, it's at Trading Places. Yeah. I watch it every year. Sometimes I might even have it on twice. On September 11th. It's kind of like watching a Christmas Story or White Christmas or something like that for Christmas time, or watching Wizard of Oz around Halloween here in the States. I watch Trading Places. I tell traders all the time, you gotta watch Trading Places on September 11th. It's to honor the CEC. Yeah, yep. Honor the CEC. Yeah, I like White Christmas with Bing Crosby and what's his name, Danny Kaye, and I like watching what's that one where the lamp is made out of a leg? Christmas Story. The old. I like the go-tos. I also like. It's not a bad one. Scrooged. Watching Scrooged with Bill Murray. That's a great one at Christmas time. That's one of my favorites at Christmas time now. That's been that way for a long time. But when it comes to September 11th, I like to watch Trading Places. Billy Ray and Lewis. And Duke and Duke. Yes, indeed. I can't tell you how many times I took that train ride that they do. I took the train to, except for notice they jump on the train, but they take a cab. So I guess they're insinuating that they get off at 40, at the up at Midtown. But regular traders, what they would do is they would get off at Newark and take the path that came right into the World Trade Center. So that would be the route I used to take all the time. Once in a while, I try to do the uptown thing. If the Amtrak was too crowded, for a particular time of day, I would take the subway up to the train station at I guess it's 23rd, 32nd Street, 32nd Street, and then grab the Amtrak there. This way you got a seat, where sometimes it was too busy and you couldn't get a seat at Newark. Depended on the time of the year and what time you were getting on the train. It was a combination of both. Anyway, that is what's going on with the gold. The gold is being, just kind of sloppy and sideways. And then let's do this. We'll go take a look at this. Should we go look at the South African rand? Go back to the currencies, or do we go? Let's do this. Let's go back to the currencies, and then we'll come back to like silver and platinum and natural gas. We'll take a look at those after the fact. So let's see. So we go to the South African rand now. The ZAR. There it is. Dollar ZAR. It's like Zog in Ghostbusters. Zool. Zool, that's it. Zool. And let's switch that over. Where are you? Right there. And you can see the weakness in that. There is the South African rand. It's trying to come down. Matter of fact, it's piercing it right there. But it's doing a little pop-up. You see there, plot 1 is a minus 0.0056, and the plot 4 is a minus 0.0114. And so, but it's just popping up a little bit. You can see it is up. Let's see how it looks on the J4X. Zool. Not rand, Zool. Dollar Zool. There it is. The dollar ZAR. I like calling it the rand more, but let's see. Oh, is a middle age says, I like when he says they're trading cotton over there, and there's the silver. And there's the silver. Yeah. The silver pit was up to the right, and then there was the gold pit to the left, and then further left was the oil pit. And they were on the other side of the floor. And then copper was being traded to the right of us, up near the cloakroom, between the lunchroom and the cloakroom. It reminded me of an old roller derby rink, the copper pit. It had to look like a roller derby pit. It was really, really funny over there. It was. Oh yeah, especially all the wood, the hard wood, and the curve to it. I think that's what it was. It wasn't steps. I want to say that the copper pit had smooth wood. So it was like a floor aimed in, and so it reminded me of a roller derby rink. I kind of remember something odd about the flooring, that's for sure. Yes, Lewis and Billy Ray. And what was really funny is Billy Ray, when I traded in Philadelphia, I used to take what they call the speed line. It's considered the most efficient train in North America. And so it would stop right where Billy Ray was grabbed by the police. When he's on that little four-wheeled thing and he's pretending to be an amputee. And a military amputee, and that was really funny. Is that not only was the Curtis Institute that they were in at the time, where they supposedly that club. Curtis Institute is like the that Juilliard in New York. It's a musical institute. It's on Rittenhouse Square, and so yeah, that movie had a lot of like a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I used to be walk by every day, and then when I started trading out of New York, then it was the Amtrak. I had to go to 30th Street Station, and that's at 18th, where Billy Ray is grabbed by the police going into the park at the Rittenhouse Park there. So feeling good, Lewis. Looking good, Billy Ray. All right, so there's the South African Rand. It's trying to roll over, but not at the moment. And you can see the weekly's been in a weekly for a while. That's probably, like I said, I think we should actually write up there like Zuma. It could be mainly because of the former president of South Africa, Zuma, put some charge into this action. Then we drive over to the ruble right there. And you see the same action is occurring, but it is in a daily sell now for one full day. And at the same time, it's driving very comfortably into that weekly sell with no problem whatsoever. So maybe there's something going on there where we're going to see a weaker dollar sooner or later. And then, I mean, we all know that these things are trapped in a particular zone by the central bank. So as much as we'd like to fantasize that they're free markets, they are controlled markets. That's the best way to describe it. Then we take a look at the Mexican peso right there. Mexican peso sliding into the weekly sell and a daily sell for a day. So the pressure's on even there in the peso. So the dollar is losing some strength in some places. Then where do we go from there? The last one is the Japanese yen, dollar yen. Right there. Where are you? Where'd you go? There you are. There's the Japanese yen. And so you see that doesn't seem to want to let go, and we're going to climb into a weekly buy again. So that's oh, you can't see. Let me just show you that. Yeah, that's what's going on there. You didn't see that on the Mexican peso or the rub. Let me just show you the rub again. We'll go through those just so you can see them. And there's the ruble. You see there, it's cleanly going into the weekly sell with no problem. And you can see here in the Mexican peso, same thing. It's pushing very well. Look how tight the time manifolds are, though. I mean, let's scrunch that up. But I mean, it just shows you that, look at that compared to the action that we did have in this product, and then it exploded. It usually does when it tightens up like that. It gives an explosion. And boy, did that lift that. Whereas this one didn't get going, and this one's not get going either. None of them are at this point. So they're like rolling over. And then, like I said, we'll take a look at the yen. There's the yen. The yen is, just staying in its buy. It's been in a daily buy since here, and pretty much the weekly has joined in with it back then, and now it's trying to confirm it on the close of this week that it's a buy. All right, now let's jump over to, let's check out the copper in the roller rink. Let's check out silver, and let's check out nat gas and platinum. Let's see what they're up to. Let's see, what do? We shift gears from here, and we go to there. There we are. So let's see, what do we got? We got this. So first we'll take a look at the silver. There's Silverado. Silverado was this morning indicating that it was trying to go into a buy. Obviously, not anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I'm sorry. I can't pull that out of the way, can I? We had a green dot too, and we were above the zero line. Let's give that a Control R. Because no, now it's down below again. So it's it's all gone. Whatever buying that was going on this morning has given up. And then over at the roller rink, let's check out the roller rink. Right there, September contracting Copperado. Copper closed in a daily buy yesterday. It's fighting to stay in that weekly buy. Let me give it a Control R too at the same time. And so it closed in a daily buy yesterday. Today it's already made well beyond its highs, and it's in a weekly buy anyway. So there's your winner chicken dinner. Didn't have to do too much to make buku dollar there, eh? And what did it do? It jumped from the close of 36.75 to a high of 441.60. So it was like 4 or 5 cents move, eh? Like a good 4-cent move. That was like, wow, nice overnight trade. Put your stops in, roll in the dough, yay, you know. And let's see, so that's the copper. Let's see what platinum is doing. Mrs. Yellen's favorite metal. Now you can see there, let's give that a Control R too. It was plus at one point, wasn't it? Yes, it is. It still is. So we've got, it's in a daily buy, and it's a little bit lower than yesterday's close, but it's trying. But again, unfortunately, traders, you can't play the long side unless you're doing options or binaries. Because look, it's been in a weekly sell for 14 weeks. Now, the pressure has been on since the 12.5 area, and where we at now, we're at the $1,000 area, and it's bouncing off of its lows. So, you know, it tried, and it is trying, but there is just not a lot of conviction going on there. There really isn't. Yeah, cotton pit, let's see, the cotton pit was in between the orange juice pit and the New York Stock Exchange, and the dollar index was traded right there too. So the cotton pit had the dollar index right next to it and the orange juice pit. And that was, and what they did is they switched trading pits to the pit I traded in at it was the stock index pit. And so they had, they made that the orange juice pit for the movie because it was a really good visual pit. It was one of the bigger pits on the floor. The biggest pit, I would say, was obviously the coffee pit. Not the coffee, I'm sorry, the crude oil pit. That was the biggest pit, and then our pit was second biggest. And then, and the big pits, they tried to keep as far away from each other so the noises didn't cancel out too much, you know. Billy Ray and Lewis and Duke. Indeed. All right. So that is, what is this now? That is the platinum. So we've done the platinum, we've done the silver. Boy, how many times can we watch the silver not go into a buy? You know, middle age. How many times can we watch it not go into a buy? Oh my God. And then let's see, natural gas. There's nat gas. It's been a daily sell for a couple of days. I mean, it's a heck of a run it's had. You know, we're in a weekly buy for, I don't know, what, 17 weeks is it now? Since April, beginning of April. We've been in a weekly buy in that product, down in the 280s, 270s. It's traded as high as 420. That's been one heck of a smack-a-doodle to the norm of natural gas trading. Wow. I mean, can it really get going beyond the $5 area? That's the real question, you know. I mean, it's really, you know, I don't know if it will or won't. You know, it's, you know, like I said, I think it's a pretty tenacious area that it's jumping to begin with. And so that is what we're watching at the moment, is we're seeing that action and just doesn't seem to want to let go. Don't want to let go. So what else we got to say about the energy sector? Firm, strong. You know, it's been finding ways to go up, not down. Even when it tries to go down, it doesn't do it very well. So now let's swing by. Let's see, we've done the metals. Oh, I know where we go. We go to the stock indices and see what they're up to today. Let's see what they're doing. Right there. You can see the Tech 100, which is on Dukascopy. Let me show you where that is. That is a minus 22. right there. That's the USA Tech 100, or we call it the NQ, or the NASDAQ. And you can see the S&P 500 is down a whole dollar, just 1 point. 50 cents. And then you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which they seem to be reaching for the old school. I mean, they just don't seem to stop. That's up $40. I mean, that's, you know, yesterday was up, I think, $200 for the day. I mean, they just don't know how to stop that. And it just seems to be the conviction of it all. And this is the intraday swings of it all. So now let's go over to the daily and see what they look like. And get out of there. What's wrong with you? Click diddy-doo-dah. Cancel. Close. I don't need to download anything. And so there we go. Let's check that out. Here is the first one. We'll go to what we have on Dukascopy, and that is the Tech 100. Let me just show it to you again. And you can see it's been having its issues here. It's been rolling over. We'll see how, I don't know if it's only going to take out any of these lows or anything, but we'll see. Who knows? Look how low it is already. It's gotten down pretty low. Now, we're not in a weekly sell on that yet. So, and that's one of those odd ones with the super, the 3-5 super right there. You can see the histogram has made it, that's the 5. See that right there? I'll do that again. See, that's plot 6. In the 3-5, what it is the 5 is a gas line 5 plot 1. That's what plot 6 is. I'll say that again slowly. The plot 6 on this chart or indicator is the plot 1 of the gas line 5. That's why we call it gas line 3-5 super. Now the plot 1 and the plot 4, you can see, are plus still. 39 plot 1 and 78 plot 4. And that's the gas line 3. Right? And we're using a gas line 3. Oh, what happened there? We're using a gas line 3 on the daily. So, you know, this thing has a certain beta. It's a little bit wilder. That's why we pay attention to it that way. Oh, what's Middle Age say? Maybe after Jackson Hole with JP, well, we'll get some uplift in the metallics. Wouldn't that be nice? You would think, I would think, and you know what, the old saying from the old guys on the New York Stock Exchange when I was a kid, they used to say, if you want to rally, you got to take them down first. And they used to also say, if you want a sell-off, you got to take them up first. So they like to push them up, get the buyers to come in, and they could sell it to them and short the daylights out of it, and then panic the longs, and vice versa. You know, you want to buy, you want to rally. Well, the first way to build a rally, they used to say, is you sell them. You keep on selling them and making the public think that the markets are going down. And then once they got the public in short, then you start buying them like as if there's no tomorrow. And then they get trapped. The shorts get trapped, and they roar in, and they push the market up. And the longs, the pros on the trading floor, were long, and they can sell it into that nice panic move on the upside. So, yeah, it would be nice if we saw some type of action like that. But that's the Federal Reserve. They don't function the same way as the traders do. So, a whole different game. But it's well worth looking at here. I mean, this has great potential. When's the last time we saw that thing skim that? I guess right there, right? And that was literally almost a low back in May, right? So, I mean, it's skimmed into it the following week. Didn't make a lower low. Stayed in a weekly sell for a second week. Went into a buy on the plot, the 5, or the plot 6, the 5 went into a buy, and then the following week it didn't do it, and it dragged on until there. So the thing came from the 1300 to the 1400 in a weekly sell. Matter of fact, it was kind of cute out of that whole thing is that we went into a daily buy and stayed in the daily buy all the way through to here, to almost 13.7. Yeah, almost 13.8. Then it gave you a little sell for 3 days. There's the win. There's your win, right there, being the short. And then it goes into daily buy again, and this time you got part of the weekly buy system already generating strength big time. And you start thinking, okay, yeah, and on Monday you get long, and then it just goes on this long rampage from here to there, a couple hundred points. So, we'll watch and see if it does that same odd characteristic again, where it does that whole rigmarole, as they would say. Now, let's go over to the S&P 500, right there. And that thing, look how tight it is. It was in a daily sell yesterday. It's already, well, before it was flirting with a daily buy. It was a green dot. But right now it's backed off of that. And the line is minus again, so I can take that out for the moment. And so that's gone. And we'll see if that can do anything. But it's in a daily buy and a weekly buy. It's in a weekly buy. So, I don't know how much selling they're going to do there. Now let's take a look. The last time they went into, they did that ziggy-zaggy for a couple weeks. But it didn't last long, and it was jumped right into the buy. All right, and then we go to the grand lady of them all, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And she's at all-time highs as we speak right now. Buy this thing now, Jim. It's like listening to Captain Kirk. Right there. Spock. There you go. This thing's, just at all-time highs and just refuses to give up. Every time you turn around, there's buying in the old stocks. The IBMs and the Apples and so forth. Well, actually, Apple's in a daily sell at the moment. To think about it. Let's see. You want to take a look at that? We can take a look at that. We'll do that after this. And so there is that. Now let's take a look at the difference between the Tech 100 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Dukascopy. Right there. And that baby is screaming. It's howling mad. As they would say in Harry Potter. It's howling mad. It just keeps on climbing. It just refuses to go down. It's 30 stocks in it. What do they call that? It's a divisor versus a cap weighted index, and so it's howling mad. Whereas over on, let's take a look at it on Dukascopy. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 right underneath it, and it's still green, and the lines haven't turned yet. We'll see. We've seen times where the Dukascopy stochastic is trying to keep us straight out of this game. But right now, we know one thing for sure, and that's the NQs, or the Tech 100, is feeling the pressure and it just keeps on finding a way to go down, not up. So we'll just watch that play its way through the whole game there. Now, let's take a look at the last of the indices, and that is the Russell 2000. Right there. And that's, kind of firm. I mean, we're playing with a weekly sell. Went into a weekly buy last week, and what is it? There's the buy. Now, where's the daily buy? The daily buy is right. Let's put the daily buy in right there. But it hasn't gone anywhere with it. I mean, right now it's there, but, and it went into a sell 2 days ago and then gave us a volatility signal again. I mean, it's not exactly giving us any real directions, and we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take the short to begin with. You only can play the long. And now it's telling you it's trying to go into a weekly sell and a daily buy again, and it's not something you want to trade. It's a neutral. Stay away from it. But that's what it's trying to do right there, right now. So that's the weakest of all the 4 stock indices in the States here. All right, let's see. What should we call this webinar? We have to give it a name. A name. How about, what did we start off with? We were talking about the pairs. We were talking about the Swiss. Forex trapped in a channel. How's that one? I like that. That kind of reminds me of where we're at the moment. Let's see. Let's do it this way. I think I'm going to call it something like Euros, GBP, and Swiss trapped in a channel, or something like that. Forex trapped in a channel. Forex trapped in a channel. Or how about Forex side chop? There we go. All right. So traders, that's been fun. We sang, we danced, we talked about the copper pit at the World Trade Center, how it looked like a roller rink. I remember walking on that floor and thinking, is somebody going to fall down? Are they going to slide? I don't know. It was something weird about it. I forget what was weird about it, but it reminded me of a roller rink. It was in a very strange room to begin with, off the floor, so that overlooked the floor at the same time. All right, where do we go from here? I guess that's about it, traders. We will catch you all on TGIF. So this is Doc from North America saying aloha. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Do, 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 do. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy cyber trading friends. Yippee-yi-yay!